Good morning students. Welcome to e-learning classes. This is your computer period and I am your computer teacher. My name is Manushi and today we will start lesson number 1, that is Central Processing Unit. As you know, the short form of Central Processing Unit is CPU. You have already learned it about in your previous classes. In this class, we will learn about what is CPU and what is its working and how what are the different function of CPU and what are the internal parts of CPU. So students, go through the video and watch it carefully. Lesson number 1, Central Processing Unit. In this chapter, we will cover these topics: more about CPU, working of CPU. You all know that computer is a machine which takes input, process data and delivers output. This function of the computer is performed by the CPU, the brain of the computer. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. Computer solves all the calculation and enables us to do every complex task with the help of CPU. As you have read in your earlier classes, in your previous classes, that the full form of CPU is Central Processing Unit. It is also called Central Processor. It is the electronic circuitry that execute instruction comprising a computer program. The CPU performs basic arithmetic, logic, controlling and input-output operations specified by the instructions in the program. So, how the CPU works? What are the workings of CPU? The CPU takes instructions from the input device like keyboard or mouse and then process the input to perform calculations. It then gives the output through various output devices. The whole process of taking input and giving output goes through CPU. The output given through printer is also managed by CPU. The working of CPU is defined as a three-step process. First, an instruction is fetched from the memory. Second, the instruction is decoded and the processor figures out what it's being told to do. Third, the instruction is executed and an operation is performed. First, it take input from the input devices, then it do all the processing in the processing unit, and after that it gives out the output. CPU also manage different parts of the computer such as hard drives, operating system and CD-ROM. All the tasks such as calculations, gaming, video, all are completed by CPU. The size or efficiency and the processing of the speed of the CPU may vary according to the task it is required to handle. The CPU is the important part of the computer and it links together all its other parts. So CPU is the brain of the computer and it is the very important part of the computer. Without CPU, the computer cannot perform any function. What are the different functions of CPU? The different functions are first one is CPU carries out a set of instruction on the given data. CPU carries whatever instruction is given out. It carries out a set of instruction on the given data. These set of instruction is called program. Second is CPU process the given instruction to obtain the output or to obtain the result. Third is it also manage the memory, which is the major function of CPU. So it smartly assigned the task to every part of the computer. Whatever instruction is given, it's smartly assigned that task to every part of the computer. it carefully carries out the final delivery of output. When the result is given, it finally shows the, after processing, doing all the processing work, it gives out the result to the as an output. Whatever result is shown, it is delivered as an output of the computer. So there are four main functions. First one is it carries out a set of instruction on the given data. Second is it processes the instruction to obtain the output. Third is it manages all the major function of the CPU and assign the task to every part of the computer. Fourth, it carefully carries out the final delivery or final result of the it carefully carries out the final delivery of output as a result. So these are the main function of the computer. That's why it is known as brain of a computer. So in this video we have covered what is CPU, what are the working of CPU, and what is the function of CPU. In our next video we will learn about internal parts of CPU. Thank you.